This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts including the Biscoff brownie and the famous Yippee trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of Starcast. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
This is Starcast, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
Hello, welcome again to another episode of Starcast, your official Billingham Stars podcast for the Billingham Town Council sponsored Billingham Stars. Pleased to be joined as usual. I pointed the right way first time. That's a bonus. Carol's here with us and Jono's here with us as well. Evening to you both. How's things this midweek?
Good evening. Yep, all well.
All good.
Excellently. Plenty of things to talk about. One game from the last weekend for your Billingham Stars. A home doubleheader coming up for the Stars as well. Plenty of scores and results around the league. And a few bits and pieces later in our Any Other Business segment. Just before we start this week's show, last week a double episode for the pod, our little show. Nick Rothwell and then the CEO of Ice Hockey UK, Henry Stalins, talking all things merger. Carol, you couldn't join us for the Nick show, but your thoughts of Nick Rothwell first of all?
It's always good to hear people who are contributing back from an interesting career, let's say, that Nick's had. I don't know if everybody tuned in just realised the career trajectory that he'd had at the start. That was really interesting to hear his trip through normal work life and hockey. But yeah, an excellent pod and clearly something that we as a club try to get involved with it, even at a local level. So I'll watch out. There's more on that to come in the new year. But yeah, really, really good pod. And it was kind of interesting to be on the listener's side of the fence for a change.
Yeah. And Jono, you mentioned it, it's what you do in your day job, mental health, mental well-being, and the kind of stuff Nick's trying to put into place. It was great to have him as the journey he's been on, and as Carol says, giving back to the sport and the people within it to try and kind of fix them from within.
Yeah, absolutely huge. As I say, it's a big part of my life, and yeah, it was great to listen to what he's saying as well, and not just me from the hockey side of it, but obviously me playing sports and I'm in the changing room environment, and I'm coming to the end of my playing time. I am getting old. I don't want to admit it, and that's the one thing I know I'm going to miss more than anything else, and that's the one thing I don't know how I'm going to replace. So for the guys who did it at a professional level and gone around the world and had that reliance on an income from the hobby and sport and got nothing else to fall back on, and yeah, it's a big thing for them. I know we listed a few names just on the podcast on the night, and we probably missed another 50 off. I just thought that we could name off the top of our head, which is a real shame. So he's doing fantastic things. I hope players right across the country. I know it's not just a UK thing. He is getting it worldwide. But yeah, I hope if people, especially players, need someone to talk, that they do reach out to the business of Retribe and hopefully get that help and support that they need. I mean, it's not even just that they don't have to be depressed. They don't have to be down in the dumps. It's just making sure they've still got that feeling, that unity of being in those surroundings. And yeah, I'm sure he'll get a lot of calls from players in the UK, but most of all, he's created something that's going to benefit a lot of people around the world.
Yeah, not 100% of that. And then at the second pod of the week, says Shy Ben's getting out. If you don't ask, you don't get. Just fired an email off to Ice Hockey UK and said, and you're doing some comms around the merger. Would Henry like to come to our little show? And Henry said yes. So that was a great, well, more than an hour I think we had with Henry. Talking all things. Carolyn, it's next week. I think the merger vote for Ice Hockey UK and England and Scotland, and we'll see how it goes this time. We've been down this road before, as we said in the show, but to hear Henry as I don't want to call him an outsider, but he's come in kind of from the outside with a fresh pair of eyes, and even he can see a single governing body makes so much sense. Hopefully we get the message out this time, and the vote goes the way we want it to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you've been around hockey any length of time, you already know that the current structure, you can say it's working, but it's not working to the extent that it could. Ice hockey still operates as very much a minority sport in this country. Yet, if you look at the viewing stats from an audience perspective, it shouldn't be. Ice hockey is a really weird one if you look at it from a complete outsider's perspective, which Henry's had the benefit of doing. Mm-hmm. It's a really odd dichotomy, ice hockey. It's got this huge following and this massive fan base, and yet it's got next to no media exposure unless it's negative, and it's still very much seen as a minority sport, and a lot of that's to do with the fact it operates like a minority sport. And I think what the merger would bring is just that extra level of professionalism. It brings in extra levels of cash, which we can't really sniff at. And it just gives a unified direction for the sport, which is really what it needs. This fragmented approach that we have currently only works because of the massive effort that volunteers put in to make it work. And really, it should be much more joined up. It should be much more efficient. There's better, as Henry said last week, there's way better ways of spending the money that we do get than the way we are currently. Mm-hmm. I think the will from the fan base is there massively for this merge to go ahead. Certainly not one person that I've spoke to has said that if they had the opportunity to vote, that they would vote against it. However, as you rightly say, we have been down this road before and it did get rejected. So a lot's changed since then. Hopefully it's enough. Hopefully we're sat, it won't be in time for the next podcast, but hopefully we're sat here in a few podcasts time talking about a new era for British hockey. I genuinely hope it happens. I said that last week. I wasn't just kissing Henry's butt, as it were. I genuinely do want this to happen, and I think I hope I speak for a lot of fans when I say I think that's what most fans want.
Yeah, no, I think so too. Jono, your side of things as well?
Yeah, it was just great to have him on. For one, that he recognises the teams at this level. It's just not about all the big teams. So yeah, he has come down to this lowly level. Maybe he also gets his clips sent to him from our podcast, so he knows all about us. Who knows? But no, it was great to have him on and get a bit of an insight. And I know it's a bit different for us three because we're probably got our noses in the thick of it and want to know the ins and outs of everything that goes on in British hockey, where the random fan probably goes, why do we have three governing bodies? Why do we have this? Why do we have that? And he came on and he explained everything, and he explained it from the best possible seat in the house. He's kind of never heard of us before. He's got the big job and thought, well, one, there's potential here. Two, the fan base is nuts. Mm-hmm. Not to mention how tribal it is, because you go after one hockey fan, you go after all of us. And I think the Radio Times, or whatever they're called, found that out the difficult way. Although they've probably got quite a lot of clicks.
Well,
and
legal reasons, we should make sure it was the Financial Times and not the Radio Times.
Yeah, the Financial Times, yeah. The
Financial the Radio Times to come after us with all of their mic.
No, they've got enough problems with Donald Trump, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, the Financial Times obviously felt the wrath of the fan base in this country, and yeah, I was vocal about the vote last time when it never went through, and I probably argued for days and days and days of why it needed to happen. It didn't. it came across as we were never going to get this opportunity again for whatever reason. For however he's done it, Henry's come along. He's put a plan together. He spoke to everybody who he's needed to speak to, and here we go again next week. Thankfully, we won't be getting the decision on the night because I'm out of the country next week, and I probably wouldn't have been able to rest to know what's going on. So by the time I get back, we probably should have an answer. And yeah, hopefully it's a new dawn, a new era, and plenty to look forward to as a brand new entity as one.
Yeah, no, so that's next Wednesday, the 17th, is the vote as we record this. As Carol says, probably not in time for next week's edition, but we'll certainly make people aware of what happens as if they don't. I'm sure they will. Their comms has been stepping up in the last few days as well. Yeah, so it was a great job. I think for our little part of the podcast universe, to have two great guests, and we'll keep trying to do that as much as we can for your listening and watching pleasure. Before we start talking about the games, just an update on the last home game. We had our teddy bear toss, and in the words of the Lottery HQ, the teddies have been counted and verified, and we have a total. Who wants to give us an update on teddy bear from Teddy Bear HQ?
Well, look, they were sat on Jono's sofa, so he should probably do it.
Well, since I had my house taken over by teddies, I'll let Carol take over and do the since I've had to live with them for the last 2 weeks. Thankfully, the dog hasn't took too much of a shine to them.
I was living with them for the last God knows how many years.
Yeah, to be fair, half of them now are sat in my garage. So, yeah, those bears are well travelled by the time we get to the hospitals. That's for sure. So yeah, we counted all the bears and the toys. We should also say we were donated money so that we could add gifts to the final total, and we've got over 250, which is blows your mind really when you think about it for our little club. And we're going to be going into the hospitals this weekend with those toys. So I believe Billy the Bear is coming as well. So the kids are going to get a real treat. They're going to get a visit from oversized polar bear, which should go down well on the wards. I'm sure
if
Billy,
not with the kids, at least with the nurses.
Well, to be fair, it's hospital wards, and they keep those hospital wards quite warm for obvious reasons. So I'm thinking Billy's going to be quite a warm bear by the time he's finished. But yeah, we're just humbled and grateful as ever, and just a massive thank you to everybody who has donated. Again, your generosity blows me away every year, and we will be delighted to deliver those gifts at the weekend on everybody's behalf. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you to the fans, and I say there's some Sheffield fans as well. I saw them lobbing the bears over the plexi as well. So everybody joined in, John, and that's again, it's been a tradition of Billingham, a fairly recent tradition, but one that the club and the fans have really embraced and taken on to their heart, as we've said, to make a real difference at Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing it for a good few years now, and it's built year on year, and it becomes probably one of the first questions fans ask when the season comes along. When's the Teddy Toss going to be? People do plan ahead, and I mean, it's crazy that you just say, "Oh, it's just a teddy bear. It's just from the local shop," but you don't understand the length and the breadth of the community goes to get such quality teddies. Like they're all sat on my sofa last week, and like, these are good quality. Our fans have spent good money on these, and it's like, and that's what blows you away. It's not just a 99p thing, and it's just people have gone out the way. They took their own time, their own money, the money that they've earned, and bought good quality products. And it takes your breath away. I mean, and obviously the guys that have donated cash, thank you very much. I know that's getting spent this week on a few things, and other guys who did think of the older kids buying various games and stuff like that. Just thank you so much. Just going out of your way to get an item is thankful so much, but for the quality of the items and just an absolute sensational effort from you all. So just a huge thank you from me.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we'll see after obviously the players going in and Billy going in this weekend. We'll give an update on our social media in the coming days afterwards. Always some fantastic photos come out of the hospital visit as well. So we'll see the benefits and the fruits of your donations, as it were. So that's us all pretty much caught up on last week. We've got to talk about a game now, unfortunately, from Sunday. Stars' only game of the weekend, a trip down to Teesside, North Wales, ended in a 10-6 defeat to the Teesside Dragons. Goals for your Stars were James Moss, Chris Sykes, Lucas Campion, Ian Brown, and 2 for captain Michael Elder, continuing his personal rich vein of form. 61 shots on Jacob Hammond in the Billingham net, 36 on Tyler Delabertouche in the very, very Teesside Welsh name for the Dragons there. Tyler in the Teesside net, 36 on him. A bit of an old-fashioned shootout to start with. Who wants to kick us off? Carol, ladies first. A 4-4 first period, and kind of set the tone for goals galore.
Yeah, the first period was probably coach's nightmare, to be honest, because it was, why defend when you cannot defend? It was, both teams probably were looking at themselves in the interval and going, what was that? Because neither team defended particularly well, let's put it that way. A good old-fashioned shootout, yeah, you could say that. Both teams took the chances very, very well indeed. But from a defensive point of view, pretty poor from both sides. But you go in, if you just take it as a pure scoreline, you go in at the end of the first level. So I guess from the Stars' point of view, battling back from two, the blow of 2 very early goals, of which I only saw one, more of that to come. It was good character from the Stars, really, to come back and actually lead at one point in that period. But yeah, the less said about some of the defensive zone play, the better.
Yeah. Like I say, 2-0 Deeside after just inside 3 minutes, and then Stars back with 3 goals of their own by the 10th minute. Michael Elder's first goal putting him 3-2 up, and Deeside equalised. Billingham straight back, Ian Brown, and then equalised again 16 minutes, 4 each. What were you thinking, Jono? Did you have a score prediction after that first period? What were you thinking? Old Heineken scores?
Yeah, it was bonkers. Yeah, it's hard to put a finger on it. What was going wrong? Because the goalies were putting all their effort in at both ends. You could see the D were working so hard. I think it's just I want to be proud of the lads because we've not really dominated as well as that offensively for a long time. We scored 6 goals and on the road and come away with a loss. I mean, personally, I think the scoreline flatters them. I have my reasons for that. Come the third period, but yeah, it's just a crazy first period. Straight away, I think the first goal, first minute or something on the power play. I think it was probably the story of the Stars night, a bit of bad discipline. I mean, the officiating was terrible, but it wasn't the reason we lost. But yeah, we just sat on the bench, just watching the coaches and the players looking at each other. I don't think they could believe it at times. But yeah, thankfully we went 2-0 down. It just didn't seem to bother the lads as well, I thought, well, yeah, that's it. They switched on. They know the job. They know what they have to do. They're in this. They still believe that they're in this. By 10 minutes in, we were 3-2 up, and that was like, yep, here we go. This is it. Typical Deeside. Can't keep pucks out of nets. Terrible defensively. Netminder not switching on, and yeah, it just became an absolute shootout up until 6-all, and then I think legs hit us, tiredness hit us, and a longish break in the third period probably done Deeside the world of good.
Yeah, I mean, you say that the middle period, when it got to 6-all, was the start of the third. That middle period, after all of the fireworks of the first period, the middle period, Deeside outshot Billingham 24-8, but it was only 2-1 in goals. I'm just reading the scores, Carol. I'm not saying the lottery. I'm just reading the score sheet. But a 2-1 period, 6-5 Deeside, and then they say early in the third, a 6-all, and it was game on from there. But like you said, Jono and Carol can pick up the story from there. Deeside, whatever they were doing, they clicked, and our guys, after putting the effort in for so long for those first 40 minutes, just couldn't keep up in that third period.
Yeah, we've said it on this podcast a million times, but those shots on goal, totals, especially for that second period, do not reflect reality in any way, shape, or form. Honestly, I look at them sometimes and go, "Was that even the same game? Are you sure?" That it didn't feel like that for long stretches of that second period. The Stars seem to be on top of the game. I just don't know where that's come from. I'm going to disagree with Jono slightly as well. I think some of the officiating did cost us in the end, because we were killing off stupid penalties that weren't penalties for at crucial times of the game. And at the end of the day, we ran out of steam in the third period because our penalty killing unit was absolutely knackered. And there's only one place you can look at to blame for that. The standard of officiating has been, shall we just be politically correct and say not great in many games this season, but I thought Sunday was particularly poor. And did it cost us the game? Well, I'm with Jono on the 10-6 scoreline did not reflect reality either. One of those was an empty net goal. And yeah, I think we were just gassed by the third period. The legs weren't there. We've travelled shortish again, and a lot, like I said, a lot of our penalty killing unit guys had seen an awful lot of ice by the time it got to crucial stretches in the third. So yeah, I'm not going to say that the officiating cost us the game, but I am going to say it didn't help.
Yeah.
It did not help in that final stretch. And yeah, Teesside had shortened their lines quite considerably, let's say. And Jake clearly felt he had a bit of a point to prove. So, and Jake on his game,
yeah,
he is something to watch when he actually puts his mind to it.
Mm-hmm. When he moves, because he didn't last
when
time
he moves.
So do we invoice Mike Clancy for the motivation of their store import from the Billingham fans?
Well, maybe because they did use their scoreboard to let's say make some light jibes about that one. So can't remember what it was now, Jono. What the scoreboard say?
Oh yeah, it was. Oh, whoever thought of that needs to sort their lives out. Jesus Christ.
Something
that
like
terrible.
Jake's not moving, still causing chaos, or something like that.
Yes, yes. Was it Jake standing still but still causing chaos?
Yeah, something like
that. I was like, oh, come on, do better. To be fair, you say he played well. I mean, what did you get? 3 for 3? Was he on the night? 3 for 4?
He got 4.
But
one of them was an empty net.
You got 4. I mean, the amount of shots he had, he probably should have had 7 or 8, 9. He must have had 15 to 20 shots. I think he was defended quite well. I think Jacob saved a lot of his shots as well, to be fair. But sometimes you can't give anyone the type of time and space that we gave him at times when he scored goals. And it's not like he single-handedly beat through us. We just give him too much time and too much space. Obviously, he's got a good line mate. She's on with Cromie. Nothing flash, but a great skater. Could carry the puck well, so he could take it from north to south very, very quickly, which helps Jacob. And obviously, we know what Kennedy's all about. He'll either go to the net physically, or he'll go in the corners and do that dirty work, which he often does. And I think he had probably a decent night himself, roughly around 3 for 3, 3 for 4. I think we
3 goals, 3 assists as well.
Yeah, I don't get the project in Teesside still. I know we took the mickey quite a lot last year, amount of goals that they conceded, and obviously we all expected much better off them this year with the signings that they made. But they made big improvements to the netminder and to the defense, and the same issues are still there. They are still there, and they're all on 2-year deals apparently or something this year, or a lot of them are. I still can't see them win a league title. they really need to shut up that defense and shore up that defense in the netminder, or they won't lay a glove on Solihull or Blackburn, especially this year. Next year, who knows what happens in the summer with the other teams or with ourselves. But this year, I can't see them winning a trophy, or a lot does have to change on that side of it. Our point of view, what Carol was saying with the officiating, I thought he was terrible. And I will say, I think officiating in NHL North 1 is absolutely terrible at the moment. I think the league's level and quality has gone above the standard of the officiating, which is no fault of anybody. I think it's probably caught people more by surprise that how much the levels rose in the last 3 or 4 years. I think everyone, when Solway left, I think everyone probably expected it to dip, and it hasn't done that. I think the performance of ourselves is raised and other teams have raised, and I think it's kind of let the officiating go a little bit. And I think we're finding a lot of officials are probably learning the game at our level, which for them is probably great, but for fans it's probably terrible because we're not getting the calls right. But for me personally, I still think we'll probably shot ourselves in the foot quite a lot, discipline-wise.
Yeah. Well, penalties, eight minors on Billingham, 5 minors on Teesside, and they were 2 for 7 on the power play, including a last-minute power play because, of course, at 9:6 you need another PP, don't you? So yeah, they finished off on the PP with 20 seconds to go. From the Stars side, Lucas getting his second goal. Obviously, he's starting to click now, so hopefully signs of that to continue. And I don't want to say it under the radar because we know he's always been doing it, but Sykes, he's 11 goals and 33 assists so far this season. He's been Chris Sykes basically, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to just say it's about an age thing or a legs thing. I just think he's just become more of a mature hockey player. He knows his game, he knows his surroundings, he knows who and what's around him. It's just, and I think it's just literally all down to experience with him now. Hence, probably why his assists are increasing. And he's probably thinking, well, I have a young lad on my wing. Why do I have to do all the effort when I can just give it to this lad who can put the puck in the net, and I'll just keep making great passes, which is what he does a lot. I mean, obviously, when he first came to the club, he was that go-to guy. It's not often he's been beaten in the scoring charts. Probably happened twice, maybe 3 times since he's been here 11 years now, has it?
Yeah.
But yeah, just probably not enough great words to say about him. I know a lot of fans get frustrated about him, and I understand why they do, but I do try and explain why it's happening, and he plays the way he plays. But again, if there's a half a chance in front of that net, there's no better man in the league who you'd want on it, and he's a great player. Like you say, and he's probably added an extra ball to his game with the assist side of things now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Carol?
Yeah, we've been tinkering with the lines a little bit since the beginning of the season, and Chris basically plays his game no matter who he's playing with, which is a good thing. You kind of have the confidence of knowing that he knows who he's playing with, if that makes sense. So he's got the hockey brain to know, no matter who's on his line, that he knows where they are. We switched back again at the weekend to the original top line, and I actually think they looked better than they have done in quite a few recent weeks, back together, getting the gang back together, as it were. So I don't know whether that's the longer term plan or whether needs must at the minute, because we are a bit thin on the ground of players. But Chris doesn't seem to mind who he's on a line with. He knows where those players are, and it's a confidence thing. It doesn't matter who he's stepping out with. He's going to put in a performance.
Yeah, and Lucas with his second goal in as many weeks, and hopefully the sign of him getting the look in front of net that he's maybe missed the first few games he was with us.
Yeah, it was a great snipe, wasn't it? It was a fantastic goal.
Yeah, breakaway snipe. It was lovely. Really, really good to watch.
Fantastic. Look forward to more of that.
Where they mentioned probably should go to Lucas Dowdle as well. He skated with the puck so well on Sunday. So unlucky not to score a north to south goal himself. going coast to coast. Fantastic effort from Lucas Dowdle. So I think he's just starting to get into his stride now as well. So good things to come, especially with a couple of big games coming this weekend.
And a couple of bodies back in the lineup, hopefully, as well. We'll talk about that as we look ahead at the weekend ahead very shortly. We'll leave Teesside there, and we'll see them again in the northeast before Christmas on the smaller ice, Jake. So who knows? But yeah, they're coming up Saturday before Christmas, I think.
Yep, 20th.
Before we go to Nottingham. But more of that. That's all for weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, 2 weeks away. The results from around the league in the last weekend, your 6th and 7th of December, courtesy of NHL Stats. First of all, Saturday, there's 2 games on Saturday. The big one, obviously, at Blackburn. Blackburn finished 7-2 over the Solihull Barons. Big weekend for those 2 teams. So Hawks won up on Saturday, 7-2, the final. Leeds won Vladimir Luka. No, sorry. Leeds won Telford 9, Vladimir Luka 6. We'll talk about him again. Then Sunday's action, Teesside Billingham, we've talked about. The return, Solihull 2, Blackburn 3. So full house for the Hawks this weekend. Widnes 7, Leeds 3 in the northwest. And then Telford completing their weekend. Telford 10, Nottingham 2. This time it was Jason Silverthorne, another up-and-coming prospect from the Tigers organisation. He had 5 to match Vladimir Luka's 6. Although Luka did have 2 himself just to keep taking over. I suppose we start talk about the head-to-head. Turned out to be not so much of a head-to-head, and 6 full points for the Hawks, Carol.
Yeah. Solihull's balloon has punctured, unfortunately. I think we're looking at the league being done before Christmas, which is a little bit sad, unfortunately. But Solihull really needed to get something out of this weekend, and they've got nothing. They're on a really poor run of form. What's 1 win in 5 is not league winning material by any stretch of the imagination, anyway. I think we all thought that if Blackburn won this weekend, that they would be pretty much untouchable at the top of the league, and I would go with that being the case. I don't think Solihull are in a position to put up much of a fight anyway, and certainly not on that form. And the rest of the pack's just too far away. So unfortunately, it does look like before Christmas, the league is pretty much a done deal. Santa and as bringing the Hawks a league title at some point, but you get what you pay for.
Jono, the top 2 is a big win on Saturday night in Blackburn, and then just a 3-2 in Solihull. But the Hawks always look like they were in control of that one.
Yeah, it's been well, Carol's just said it. The roster that they've put together, they set the targets and their aims out. They had a little bit of a wobbly week or so when they lost a couple of games, and obviously they went close with us. And obviously we returned the favour by going back there with a short bench, which was never good. And they've got through when they had a close game at Telford. The Just to Say came out of it on the right side of it. So they've had a few things go this way, and I think Carol's probably right. I think it's fair to say they could probably start putting the ribbons on the title for them now. Start putting the ribbons on the league trophy. Like I say, they've got a very, very impressive squad there. And if pitches are to believe from the Saturday, it's just a shame that they're not doing it in front of a bigger crowd, because you're not going to see many rosters like that in this division too much or too often. Because for one, I just don't think it works that way. I think players do have that heart and hunger to play at a much higher level until a certain age, and those ages do come round. But yeah, there's probably no stopping them now. You look at the fixtures, and the only way Solihull was going to ever catch Blackburn was by beating Blackburn, and I believe they've only got the 1 fixture left with them now. So unless Teesside do a major favour, or we can beat them twice in our with 2 remaining games, which was very possible because we've always been a second half of second half of the season kind of team. We kind of hit our strides. So we probably will become a thorn for these teams in the top three.
Yeah.
So although Solihull aren't out of it, they've kind of lost being in control of it with it coming out of their hands.
Yeah. Oh, 100% it's out of their hands at the moment with the way things are going. We'll do the league table in a second, just other results. Telford, over there playing this weekend, better look out. Oh, hang on. 19 goals in 2 games. Yes, it was Leeds and Nottingham, but still you've got to score those goals. And we saw firsthand down in Telford the kind of firepower they have, Carol, when they're on the game.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a massive game against them on Sunday, and those two up and coming young whippersnappers are the ones that we have to look out for. Talent for the future, guys. Vladimir Luka and Jason Silverthorne. Combined age of
90.
I would say 90, yeah. Not 19. So yeah, you can't argue with that firepower. They have had a little blow though. They've lost Finlay Howells back to the national side, and he was kind of sort of the anchor behind those two guys. So that is a little bit of a blow, and we wait to see how that pans out for them. However, the flip side of that is they've strengthened the back because they've got Zach Brown. So there's swings and roundabouts. There's an awful lot of changes happening up and down the league in terms of names coming in and out at the minute, and this is all to do with playoffs, of course. Because if you want players to be able to qualify for you for playoffs, they have to have played a certain amount of games. So the fact that there is a bit of movement going on at the minute doesn't particularly surprise me, but some of the names that have been moving about does surprise me. So I didn't expect Finlay Howells to go, but clearly he's not finding North One as big a challenge as he'd hoped. I don't know, but he's disappeared back to national, and that is a blow. But make no mistake, the twin threat of Luka and Silverthorne is what is still needed to be watched out for on Sunday.
Yeah, 100%. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll quickly through the league table then after the 7th of December games. Blackburn 19 games, 17-2 they are, 51 points, a perfect 10-0 at Blackburn Arena. Solihull second, 19 games, 43 points, so an 8-point gap. And behind them, Teesside 5 points back, but a game in hand, 38 from 18. Then Telford 36 from 18. Then Billingham 28 from 17. 9 wins, 1 OT loss, and 7 regulation losses. So 9 and 8 basically. And then below that, 28 points also for the Hull Jets and for the Widnes Wild. So they're below. Nottingham still have the last playoff spot on 12, 4 and 15. Same record for the Leeds Knights, 4 and 15. And then at the bottom, Sheffield Scimitars, a perfect 4 and 20. We've talked about them enough after last week's game, so the other week's home game. So we'll see what they do in the second half of the season. Can't be any worse. So that's a plus, isn't it? Anything on the fixtures and tables? Cup we'll talk about because we have a cup game coming up on Sunday. So we'll talk about the cup in due course. But anything else on the fixtures from last week before we move on?
Nothing really on the fixtures, probably just more on the league table now. If, as we've just mentioned there, that the league title is over, you're going to see a lot of teams and coaches looking at league positions now to who they're going to get in the playoffs. And I believe as it stands right now, we get Telford. I mean, we are good enough to put a run together and end up being third, which I think we should be doing. I think that should be our target this year. We should be looking at coming third. But at the moment, we've got a big weekend coming up to keep our cup hopes alive. But again, it's another look at Telford to see what we might be going up against in the playoffs as well. So, yeah, it's getting to that time of season now where playoff positions are going to start getting looked at, and probably it's time to get excited. It's all when all the fun stuff happens.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that thing. If the playoffs started tomorrow, for first of all, it would be a Thursday, so that would be odd. But anyway, so if the playoffs started tomorrow, it would be Blackburn versus Nottingham. It will be Solihull versus Widnes. Teesside versus Hull, and Telford would have home advantage over the Billingham Stars.
Depending on national team.
Yeah, figuratively home advantage. So I mean they're not for. I mean, poor Nottingham again getting the league champions for the 43rd year in a row by the sounds of things. But yeah, those ties don't sound too bad. Obviously, you want to be top 4 to get your home advantage, or pick of home game, shall we say?
The whole Teesside one would be tasty, one.
It was tasty last year.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good tasty tie. That
went into overtime, didn't it? That one.
Yeah, well, I think us and Telford, I mean, at the things as that stands right now, that's a 50-50 draw straight away.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be wherever we do play on the Sunday. If things fall in our hands, that Tigers won are at home on the Sunday, so we get the home advantage. That might play into it, and that might what we get us through. Yeah. You just never know. Obviously, it's a lot to play for before then, but it's those sort of scenarios that teams will start looking at and thinking about now.
Yeah, no, we'll keep an eye on things. Obviously, every week as we develop. We'll take a break there now. We'll leave it and come back to talk about the weekend ahead. A home doubleheader, a rare thing, and then 2 come along at once. A rare thing for the Billingham Stars. 2 home games in the same weekend. We have Widnes on Saturday. We have Telford on Sunday. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about any other business very soon. Stay with us here on Starcast.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous Yippee trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of Starcast. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
Welcome back to Starcast for this week, and time to look ahead to this week's action for your Billingham Town Council sponsored Billingham Stars, and 2 home games at the Forum Ice Arena. Saturday is the Widnes Wild, Sunday is the Telford Tigers. Both games 5:30. Hope you can join us for one or both of those. Start on Saturday. I've just said who it wasn't. I got it wrong again. Widnes coming in on Saturday. Obviously. You probably say it for most of the teams in the division. Widnes aren't the team they were last year, Carol.
No, here's the thing about the Stars. I think we've just raised everybody's game, and that is great for the league. I think you look around and you look at the teams that have put the effort into improving their rosters, improving their development, improving their all-round game. I think you all owe the Stars a little bit of kudos for that, because it's been for the good of the game and the good of the league. It's been fantastic, and Widnes are one of those teams that have. You only just missed out on playoffs last year, but they were terrible for an awful lot of the beginning of the last season. They were pretty awful, but they've totally spun it round, and you can really see where the improvements have been. Won again last weekend. Got a lovely guy in net, friend of the show. Hi, Luca. I can't see them not qualifying for playoffs this year. And I think from Widnes' point of view, now it's, as Jono said just before the break, Widnes will be looking at getting the best possible place that they can to make a real push in the playoffs, because they are one of those teams that could cause a real upset. Just as ironically, just as we did to them, we were on our upward trajectory. So I think Widnes will be one of those teams that just down the stretch you'll want to look out for, and we'll see that improvement for ourselves on Saturday.
So all of the owners of the NIHL 1 North basically got together and said, we're all going to sign a shed load of players. Nobody told Alan.
Nobody told Alan.
For a better word, I think we peed on some cornflakes in the last couple of years and upset quite a lot of you. And look what we've done. We've created a fantastic NHL North 1. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything on Widnes, Jono?
Yeah, they're a hard team not to like. Even when they were struggling last year, you still wanted to find that little bit of hope for them to hope that they'll find a way out of it, because we were hearing all sorts of rumors. I mean, I think even on the podcast we thought they were dead cert to be Division 2 this year. We thought that's it; they were probably done. But kudos to I think even at points of last year, their own fans were getting on the backs. But kudos to the GM and the club there. They've turned things around. They've put a plan in place, and they're just a hard working team, and fans can get behind that. When you see a bunch of, well, I wouldn't even say local lads, but you're getting a bunch of lads together who just want to work hard for the jersey and work hard for the fan base and work hard for each other. You're going to go places, and in this day and age, in this world, hard work goes a long, long way, and that's what they'll do on Saturday. They'll come in, they'll work very hard, and they'll work hard for 60 minutes. Whether we go 4, 5, 6-0 up, or whether they take a 2-3, 2-1, 3-1 lead, it'll be the same effort from them all the way through. They won't change anything, and that's good on them, and long may it continue for them, because like I say, the league will only get better in time. And yeah, I think they could become a big thorn towards the end of February going into March next year.
Yeah. Well, as you said, the way things are at the minute, teams in 5th, 6th, and 7th are all on 28 points. So Widnes are only 7th at the minute due to the head-to-heads between the three teams. So if that kind of continues for the rest of the season, it's kind of take a pick where you want to finish it, isn't it? So we'll have to be on our game and be ready. I say friend of the show, Luca, but not on Saturday between the hours of 5:30 and 8 p.m. But yeah, no, they've done a lot of work in the summer. Obviously, there were last year they had a lot of kind of two ways. A lot of guys just turn up for the weekend and not really training and playing, and they didn't really have that togetherness, like you said. Jono's picked up on that, and they kind of have that this year, and they are pretty much well, not just like the Stars, but in that kind of way that all the Stars guys are together. I think you get the impression that the Widnes guys are all together, Carol.
Yeah, it just occurred to me. You reminded me, friend of the show, Luca did say he was bringing Christmas presents on Saturday.
This is a useful time for him to remind it.
I thought I'd just drop that into the pod.
Yeah.
I thought I'd drop that into the pod in case he is listening, just to say you said you were bringing up Christmas presents, Luca. No, to get back to your point. Yes, I think there is a lot to be said for team togetherness, and if nobody got that from the Stars for the last couple of seasons, then you could see no better example of how a real team working together can pay dividends. And I think Widnes have got that this season. They've got that real team ethic going, so all power to them.
Yeah. Luca, if their latest social media videos to be accurate, Luke, I'll be bringing. He's going to bring us an air fryer.
An air fryer.
An air fryer. Have you not seen the air fryer video?
So I'd be all good with an air fryer.
Have you not seen the air fryer video?
No.
So the social media challenge was to bring your kit in something other than your kit bag.
All right. Okay.
And Luca got it wrong and brought something that's not normally in your kit bag. So everybody else was bringing their kit in like a trolley or a bucket or whatever. And Luca brought his kit and an air fryer.
As you do.
As he does.
Never know when you need an air fryer.
I think we might be getting an air fryer.
Bit of post-game chicken.
Yeah, lovely. We're not giving you any ideas, Luke. I just know whatever you've brought is fine, but just an air fryer would be, would be nice. But yeah, Saturday, 5:30, Forum Ice Arena, Widnes Wild, coming their first visit of the season. It's an important game. They're all important games now, as Jono has officially started the run into the playoffs here on the show. So yeah, Widnes on Saturday, and then Telford coming in on Sunday. We've talked about their goal scoring prowess. We've played them once down there already this season, and it's league and cup this one. So doubly important points on the board, Jono, and the initial math for our American friends. The math is quite simple: A, win, and B, win by 2 goals. And then we can move on to the Nottingham game before Christmas. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen, then the cup is done.
Yep, just that simple. Just win by 2 or more, and that's it. Simple as those are assists, so we can tell you where he gives the puck quite a lot. So yeah, Luke will probably have to find another stream of assists, and I'm sure there'll just be someone waiting in line who's wanting him to give the puck to him, because he's just a monster in the face-off dots. That's going to be a key battle in the game to hopefully stop him from winning draws, or maybe not have as many, maybe not freezing the puck as much, icing the puck as much, and just things like that, where we have a lot of face-offs. So it's certainly going to be interesting to see how we go into that game, but it's certainly going to be a tough one. Can we go and win by 2, 3 clean goals? Yeah, I mean, there's a world that we can go and win by 5, 6, or 7, but there's also a world that they can win by 2 or 3 as well. So tough game. I think it's going to be a great one for the fans, and one I'm excited for as well, actually.
Yeah, no, and I mean they're not playing on the Saturday, but they do have the travel, whereas we have the Saturday game, but the guys are just at home and just then rocking up to the Forum on the Sunday. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of contrast works, Carol, and whether the Tigers traveling and our guys staying at home, although playing the second game of the weekend. I think a lot depends, as Jono says, on how the Saturday game goes, first of all.
Yeah, there is a bit of that. You would like to think, given that we are, it's home comforts and all of that, that we are, that we're rested and settled. But the mindset, yeah, you want the, sorry, apologies for my dogs in the background there. You just want the mindset there that the guys are coming off the back of a really good result. And hopefully that is the case. Yeah, they are going to be 2 really tough games. And given the amount of, I hate to keep harping back to this, but the amount of bad luck we've had recently, and it has been bad luck, we must be due some good luck soon. So yeah, the result does matter. The mindset matters. It's a massive game on Sunday, so we do need Saturday to contribute to Sunday, if that makes sense. Big game, big games. Hopefully we can get the win on Saturday, and that will put us in the right frame of mind to go about defending our cup.
Yeah, and if anything, really, that you can't really think about the cup situation until you know what's happening in the game itself. You can't really go out starting, we need to win by 2, we need to win by 2. Let the game take its course first, and then worry about the goal difference after that.
Yeah, very much so. You don't really want to get yourself in a position where you're fighting for those 2 goals. So you kind of want the game to flow naturally, and not to have to think about that gap at all, if that makes sense. You don't want to be in a situation where you're in the dying stretch of the third period, looking at the scoreboard, thinking we need 1, 2, whatever it is. You kind of want to be a bit more natural than that, because as soon as you start looking at the scoreboard and thinking about it, you're going to be gripping that stick a little bit tighter. You're going to be rushing your decision making. It doesn't tend to end well.
Yeah, no, we'll see what the guys will talk about in the training tomorrow. As we record this, we'll see how the guys are shaping up. I say hopefully a few bodies back in the lineup.
It'll be an interesting one on the half of Telford as well. Like, there's a bit of pressure on them now, knowing that if they win, they go through. And they take a big scalp of knocking the defending champions out. So there is a bit of pressure on them as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how they go about it. Not many of them have played at the Forum for a long time. Yes, they've played Division 2 hockey there, but we're an absolute completely different beast to the Bucks when they last played there against them. And they found it tough playing against the Bucks at the Forum as well. So it's a tough place to go. And now there is a bit of pressure on them to qualify and get a semi-final game, which probably, when you look at it, it's going to be Solihull home and away, and they'll probably be licking their lips going, well, we fancy our chances at that as well. A big derby game, and a game that we know we can probably win on home ice, and if everything goes our way, we can win on away ice. So I think Telford will be, like I said, they've got something to lose, and when you've got something to lose, you can certainly play a bit differently.
Yeah, no, certainly there's a lot of things I'll be in play during the 60 minutes. and possibly beyond. Who knows? But yeah, so that's Sunday's action. So for your delight and delectation, Saturday Widnes, Sunday Telford, 5:30 both face-offs at the Forum Ice Arena. Hope you can join us for that one as usual. Anything else on the weekend ahead before we move on? Just the other fixtures quickly. Only one other game on Saturday. It's Leeds versus Deeside. And then Sunday's schedule, lunchtime game for Sheffield versus Nottingham. Deeside plays Solihull. Should be canny. Obviously Billingham Telford, and then Widnes play Blackburn on Sunday as well. So a double header for the Widnes Wild this weekend as well. Finally, then, any other business? We talked about it at the top. The vote for the merger of the associations and moving to a single governing body. That takes place as we're recording a week tonight, next Wednesday. All of the associations are all working together. The comms have been kind of coordinated. So you either look on England Ice Hockey or look on Ice Hockey UK, or you can look at Scottish Ice Hockey. You can get all the information now about what's going to happen. The clubs, and as far as England are concerned, the clubs are the members, so they'll be the ones voting. It's not kind of an individual vote; it's a club voting. The club is the member of the EIH, so they'll be the ones casting the votes next week. Anything else on the merger before kind of said we're a bit?
Just the fingers crossed, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, fantastic. Carol, we mentioned earlier, from our friends in the Billingham Buccaneers, Wardell, doesn't look like he used to anymore.
No, Ryan has a sleek new look. He has got his famous floor shaved off for charity, and raising a grand total of £679.22 for a very worthy charity for Louis, which is, I believe, I don't know a great deal about it, but I encourage people to find out about it. It helps families that have suffered the loss of a baby or young child, and he has raised that money by, like I say, having all of his locks shaved off, so he looks a lot different at the minute. I don't know if he had to adjust his helmet anyway on the weekend, because there was quite a lot of hair to get shaved off.
Yes.
So don't know if maybe he had to wear a hat under his helmet when he played at the weekend. But yeah, well done, Ryan. Great effort. Well done, mate.
The lettuce has been shredded well and truly. Yeah, and maybe pull his helmet straps a bit tighter now for. It'll be cool. I bet he feel the cold as well doing it in winter. City sausage. But yeah, fantastic stuff from Ryan and the fans and everybody chipping in to support. Anything on that, Jono? You know?
No, all I have though is my phone's flashed the signing news, and it affects us on Sunday.
Oh no!
Telford Tigers 2 have just announced the signing of Matt Maurice from the Solihull Barons.
Well, there's a surprise.
Yeah.
So
he knows which side the West Midlands butter's going to be buttered on this year, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Bread's going to be buttered. I completely mixed up that metaphor. Never mind.
But yeah, so yeah, that will probably be in the roster for us on Sunday, I would have thought.
NHL insider jumping into the show there. Yeah, fantastic. Well, fantastic news. It wasn't really, but yeah, thanks for adding that. I know somebody was mentioned, obviously when they mentioned Finley Howells is moving up, there was a couple of guys who played down, and they haven't confirmed whether they're going to be playing down permanently or not. So we'll keep an eye on that as well, to see if that has any bearing on the squad they're going to bring up on Sunday. So yeah, so breaking news on Starcast. Thanks for that, Jono. Supporters Club, 2 home games, clapping your hands.
Yeah, it's going to be a real busy one. Going to be a real busy one. I wouldn't say it's not your last chance. The last chance to get raffle tickets, because obviously that will be drawn on the 20th. So if you need raffle tickets, get them now. We will be literally saying no more. I would pretty confident as soon as the game finishes Sunday. So get your raffle tickets, some great prizes. There might be 1 or 2 late additions in the prizes, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I just need to confirm 1 or 2 things, make sure we're allowed to do it first. But yeah, that they should be great gifts if anyone was to win them. But all your normal merchandise stuff that's on the table there, all available for Christmas gifts. Great stuff. Pucks, the cup pucks for your collections. I have mine over my shoulder somewhere up on the shelf there. You can see over my shoulder for all the champions trophies that we won last year. Just all 4 of them. Don't know if you heard that. 4. We got 4. Still ours for now. All 4.
If you count the other one as well.
But yeah, they're available. Key rings and just your little bits and bobs that you guys love buying from us and collecting, and that make great little gifts as well. So just come and say hello. The guys doing great on the table, busy as ever as can be. And I'm pretty sure the orders for Christmas is now pretty much done. But you may just get lucky if you're in desperate need of something. Please do speak to Kay, who's always jolly and joyful at the front desk.
Indeed, she'll no doubt be having as Carol's leading the way now, so it'll be Christmas attire from here on in, is it?
Yeah, why not?
Any other business? No.
Don't think so.
Just what we were quickly talking about before we press the big record button. It's a contentious one. It's always a controversial one. What is a Christmas movie? And some of us think that a certain movie is a Christmas movie. I mean, his wife's called Holly. That's a giveaway. Anyway, what makes a Christmas movie, Carol?
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and that is the hill I will die on. Sorry, it's not. Christmas movie.
You will die hard on that hill, will you?
I will die hard on that hill. Yippee, I'm not going to say the rest.
Yeah. As we said, Die Hard 2 is much more of a Christmas film than Die Hard 1.
Yeah, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Why have you done it?
I'm being outvoted. I appear to be outvoted. I'll have to make that work in the edit, I think. But yeah, it's obviously radio time. We might a Freudian slip from Jono mentioned the radio time, but the radio times is out, so you can start planning your Christmas viewing. Yeah, repeats of Only Fools and Horses and things like that, and Miracle on 34th Street for the 43rd year in a row and all that jazz. What's a Christmas movie for you then, Jono?
I mean, what is? I mean, Christmas Eve is my traditional. I watch Elf and the Santa Claus. That's my Christmas Eve traditions. But I have a soft spot, and it's Love Actually is my little go-to at Christmas. It's one of my favorites, and that I'll be getting whacked on in the next couple of weeks. And obviously, then there's the old Home Alone on. Well, I say 3, but I only watch 2 of them. Ready for Christmas. That'll be my Christmas movies, pretty much.
Yeah, Carol.
It's a Wonderful Life. What a film! Makes me cry every time. It's kind of the Christmas Eve film that goes on. I have a few others, much to somebody else's chagrin, as it were. Gremlins, which is a Christmas movie. I actually like a bit of Love Actually as well. I'm not a great big fan of Elf. I know that is very controversial, but I'm not a huge fan of Elf. But for some reason, this house seems to watch an awful lot of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Nothing wrong with that.
But It's a Wonderful Life. If you're gonna pin me to one Christmas film, it's A Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life. Right? Yeah. Mark your radio times is. And other listings magazines are available. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Title of the pod is now Yippee, and we'll leave it at that.
Asterisk.
Because I'm the editor and I've said so. No, thank you for Jono and Carol for your hockey input and your Christmas TV and film knowledge also. So just a reminder this weekend.
Can I just say you never said a Christmas film?
You're right, I didn't, because you've rained on me parade, so I'm not.
No, you have to say a Christmas film.
Oh, he's sulking now. We'll have to go.
I mean, I do agree with you on It's a Wonderful Life. Even like you say, it does. you're crying. But no, I like the old. They're not Christmas ones, but they're the stuff they always put on at Christmas, like the Disney ones. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not really a film. I'm more a TV series
Okay.
kind of person. But yeah, A Wonderful Life will be on. I think possibly set the record. I think Mother has already watched Miracle on 34th Street.
It's a bit soon,
within the last 2 weeks.
New one or old one?
The new one.
Okay.
The Attenborough one.
I actually prefer the older one.
Chris Kringle.
I do. I like the Natalie version.
But yeah, no, I'm more of a TV series and like the sitcoms and stuff rather than the film. I'm not a big filmy person at Christmas. But Die Hard is a Christmas film.
Oh, I forgot the classic as well. I forgot the classics. Obviously, you like have a bit of Nigel Lawson cooking at Christmas as well.
All your Bond films, all your Star Wars films, they're Christmas films. And all that sort of stuff. I think we've gone off. I think this is what they call a tangent.
Yeah. We've definitely swerved.
Oh, we forgot about Milan Lucic as well, talking about Christmas.
Oh,
films.
yes. We did mention him at the top. Obviously,
he may or may not.
We're not an Elite League podcast, but one of the not NIHL, the NHL, the NHL insiders said that Milan Lucic was coming to the UK to play in the Elite Ice Hockey League. Milan, formerly of Boston and Edmonton and LA, was he? He's been around a bit anyway. And not exactly, as we were talking about, Luca and Silverthorne, not exactly the up-and-coming, skillful type that the Elite League are trying to attract, but somebody's had a peek on his social media that he is following on Twitter X, the Fife Flyers, Fife Ice Arena, and the Elite League on Twitter. So we shall stand by and see. Him, I mean, their captain Garrett Hunt is a gritty kind of player. So you can see why, if it's been kind of stirred up by Garrett Hunt, why Lucic is there. But traditionally, Fife have never been that kind of hockey in Fife, has it?
No, not really. I mean, they'll have David Booth there as well. So I don't know whether it's just a year of PR, putting bums on seats, gathering like a bit of momentum, maybe trying to put a few pounds in the bank ready for the summertime to have another pop of putting a roster together. Because obviously they're under new ownership now, aren't there, as well? So it's their first year and they're probably just finding their feet. So maybe it is just a bit of bringing in a couple of NHL guys just to put a few bums on seats and see where they can take it and maybe get some money in the bank ready for next year, maybe.
Yeah. No, see if I would say he's followed them on Twitter. We'll see if he follows through with a signing announcement.
He's a Stanley Cup champion, fair play.
Somebody did say it'll be bigger than when Theo Fleury signed because of the social media stuff, but I don't think you could quite compare the two because Theo scored like 250 points in 5 minutes, whereas he won't. But we shall see. Any other?
No, I think we've got everything now. I think.
Nothing else.
I think we're done. Oh, I actually did want. I should have added this at the start. Massive shout out to the fans that struggled through what can only be described as absolutely atrocious weather to eventually get to Teesside on Sunday. I think everybody appreciates the time that people give up to go and watch the lads. But when it's a day like that, when the weather is quite frankly dangerous, you just a little shout out at the end. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
Glad you all got home safe.
On that side of things, just a little reminder to fans before you travel, just do check the destination and how long it takes to get there beforehand, so you don't leave it too late before you set off. Not mention any names, K. Dean.
Yeah, K. How many times has K been to Teesside as well?
Never mind. He got there.
She didn't put the wrong Teesside in her sat nav, and ended up going to up north.
No, she
just assumed it was Widnes and 2 hours, and not Teesside and much further.
Widnes and a bit. Yeah, but I was driving down from Dumfries on Sunday, so I kind of got a bit of what was down the west coast. Yes, so I appreciate the motoring down towards that and the M56 and turning off to that little bit of North Wales. Huge commitment from the travelling fans as always. But there's no travelling this week. It's just coming down the A19 or the A19 or the 1058 or whichever road you use to come into Billingham. Just little travel this weekend. Home games only.
I walk through the town centre.
I'll just walk through the town centre. Widnes Wild on Saturday, Telford Tigers on Sunday. 2 home games, 4 Ice Arena, 5:30 both nights. Hope you can join us for that one. Thanks to everybody for listening. Another edition of Starcast. We appreciate your views and your listens and all of your shares and stuff on social as well. Thanks to Carol and thanks to Jono for your comments and input as always. We'll see you at the weekend and we'll hope to see you soon as well. You can join us again next week on Starcast.
Thank you for watching and listening to Starcast. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.